Welcome back to Ripple of Goodness, where we share true stories that remind us of the profound impact small acts of kindness can have on our lives. Today's story will touch your heart and show you that sometimes the people we help are actually the ones who saved us first. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss a story that might just change your perspective on life. Music transitions every morning at exactly 6:15. Marcus Johnson would leave his small apartment with his 7-year-old daughter, Emma, to catch the bus to her school. Being a single dad wasn't easy. 3 years ago, when his wife passed away suddenly, Marcus found himself navigating parenthood alone, working double shifts as a warehouse manager while trying to be both mother and father to his little girl. The same route, the same routine. Down the stairs, past the corner store, and 3 blocks to the bus stop. That's where Marcus first noticed her. She was elderly, probably in her late 70s, sitting on the same bench every single morning. Her clothes were worn but clean, and she carried 2 large shopping bags filled with what appeared to be her entire life. Her hands trembled slightly as she held a small cardboard sign that read, "Anything helps. God bless." Most people walked past without a second glance. But Marcus couldn't. The first morning he stopped, he only had a few dollars in his wallet. Money was tight, always tight. But something in her tired eyes reminded him of his own struggles, his own moments of feeling invisible to the world. "Good morning," he said, handing her the bills. "I hope this helps a little." She looked up at him with surprise, her weathered face breaking into a gentle smile. "Thank you, son. Bless you and your beautiful daughter." That became their routine. Every morning, Marcus would stop. Sometimes he brought her coffee from the corner store. Other times, it was a breakfast sandwich he'd grabbed on sale. When he had extra, he'd slip her a 10 or 20. When he didn't, he'd at least stop to talk, to acknowledge her presence, to let her know she mattered. Emma would smile at the elderly woman, sometimes sharing stories about school. The woman's eyes would light up, and she'd listen intently, as if Emma's words were the most important thing in the world. "Daddy," Emma asked one morning as they walked away, "why is she always there?" Marcus knelt down to his daughter's level. "Sometimes life gets hard, sweetheart. Sometimes people just need a little help to get through the day. We help when we can." Weeks turned into months. Marcus learned her name was Dorothy, but she didn't share much else about her life. She'd deflect his questions with gratitude, always turning the conversation back to him and Emma. How was Emma doing in school? Was Marcus taking care of himself? Had they had a good weekend? Then one morning, everything changed. Marcus approached the bench with his usual offering, a hot cup of tea and a muffin. But Dorothy looked different. Her eyes were focused on him with an intensity he hadn't seen before, as if she were studying every detail of his face. "You don't remember me, do you?" she whispered. Marcus froze. "I'm sorry, what do you mean?" Dorothy's hands shook as she reached into one of her bags. She pulled out an old, faded photograph, protected in a small plastic sleeve. She handed it to Marcus. The photo showed a much younger Dorothy in a nurse's uniform, standing in what appeared to be a hospital hallway. But it was the other person in the photo that made Marcus's breath catch. A teenage boy, looking thin and scared, sitting in a hospital bed. The boy was him. "St. Mary's Hospital, 22 years ago," Dorothy said softly. "You were 17. You'd been in a terrible car accident. You were so scared, so alone. Your parents, they couldn't. They didn't come to see you much." The memories came flooding back. The accident, the weeks in the hospital, the fear, the loneliness. And yes, there had been a nurse. A kind nurse who had stayed past her shifts, who had talked to him about life and hope and futures when he thought he had none. You were Nurse Dorothy," Marcus stammered, his voice cracking. She nodded, tears streaming down her weathered cheeks. "I saw you that first morning, 3 months ago. I recognized you immediately. That same kind face, just older. And when I saw how gentle you were with your daughter, how you stopped to help me when you clearly had so little yourself, I knew. I knew the boy I'd helped all those years ago had grown into exactly the kind of man I'd hoped he would be. But why?" Marcus could barely speak through his emotion. "Why didn't you tell me? Why are you here like this? You helped save my life." Dorothy smiled sadly. "Life has its twists, son. I got sick, lost my pension in some bad investments, lost my home. Pride kept me from reaching out to anyone who knew me. But every morning, seeing you, seeing the good man you became, seeing you teach your daughter kindness even when you're struggling, That's been my blessing. You gave me hope again." Marcus was crying now, and Emma hugged his leg, confused but knowing something important was happening. "You're not staying on this bench another night," Marcus said firmly. "I don't have much, but I have a couch. We'll figure something out." "Oh, son, I couldn't. You could and you will. You didn't give up on me when I had nothing. I'm not giving up on you." That day, Marcus made calls. He contacted social services, reached out to his church, posted on community forums. Dorothy had worked 40 years as a nurse. She'd helped countless people. It was time people helped her. Within a week, the community rallied. A local veterans organization found her eligible for housing assistance. The nurses' union she belonged to had emergency funds. Old colleagues came forward with support. 2 months later, Dorothy moved into a small but comfortable apartment. But the morning routine never stopped. Marcus and Emma still met Dorothy, now at the coffee shop near her new home. They'd have breakfast together before school, three people bound by the beautiful circle of kindness that had saved them both. Marcus often thinks about that morning when Dorothy revealed their connection. How the person he thought he was helping had actually been helping him, giving his acts of kindness meaning and purpose during his darkest time of grief. Because that's the thing about kindness. You never really know whose life you're changing. Sometimes the stranger you help is the angel who once saved you. And sometimes, by helping others, we're actually saving ourselves. Music swells. If this story touched your heart, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who needs a reminder that kindness always comes back around. Leave a comment telling us about a time someone's kindness changed your life. And remember, every small act of goodness creates a ripple that can change the world. Until next time, keep spreading kindness.